investigation and criminalistic of the Academy of Superior Studies of the Police Force, with a trajectory of more than 27 years at service. Also, he has a master's in analysis and intelligence of communications in the major university. He develops also as a bilingual investigation, forensic, criminalistic, and translating interpretation in the language of English. He's also registered in the Court Appeals of La Serena, Valparaíso, Santiago, San Miguel, and Rancagua. He's also an assessor and a consultant, a bilingual consultant of security and strategy, corporate of managing a crisis. He knows more than this. Also, he's a crisis analysis of criminal crisis analysis. He is an analysis of intelligence and communication, and an analysis of content, and between others, his studies. There are a vast majority of studies that he has. He studied also in prestigious police agencies, security international agencies, as the FBI, FBINA in the United States, and a program international that is called Criminal Justice and is recognized by the University of Virginia. Also, he was in the Academy of Real Policía Montada of Canada. And also, he did some studies in the International Center of Studies in George C. Marshall of Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our guest, as he is going to be explaining this catastrophe of Chile. He is a well-prepared man, bilingual man, and he joins us all the way from Chile. Mr. Raúl Muñoz on the screen.
Hello.
Raúl, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for being with me all the way from Chile. It's 4 hours of difference right now in time. So I want to say, first and foremost, you are an incredible, intelligent man that knows about the intelligence and the police force. That you know everything about your craft. So first and foremost, I want to thank you for being on our program and our platform. Thank you so much.
No, first of all, I would like to thank to you regarding your invitation in your LEAP program. I'm really honored to be here, and thank you so much for that chance. So I will be very glad to speak a lot of things that you are speaking right now in your program. So we can do it.
Thank you so much. This is Raúl Muñoz, intelligence analyst from Chile. Now, first questions that I want to ask. There has been multiple IDs from Chile that they have been dropped off between the border of Mexico and the United States of America. You guys have been in this globalist compact of immigration. You guys are, by the way that I understood, you got out of it, but there was a waiver signed between Piñera, the President Piñera, and also the United Nations, which that is what I try to understand. Now, this IDs that I'm presenting right here, they're all migrants, majority from Haiti. By the looks of it, Raúl, it means and it looks that they're using your country to get the identification and also the money of a program that you mentioned me, that is a family program that the country of Chile is providing. By the way that your information that you're giving me is that they're using your country and they're using your ID so they can have the ability to move. Am I correct or not?
Yeah. Well, actually, the situation in Chile regarding immigrations is absolutely complicated right now. Because, for example, in the north of Chile, mass of immigrants are coming from Venezuela, especially, and they are trying to enter to Chile illegally. But the other situation is regarding the Haitian people. We must remember that in 2017, a big immigrant smuggling was discovered from people coming from Haiti. They arrived in the borders or in the airports, and they show some documents that were held in some yellow envelopes in that occasion. I remember that are a similar situation occurred in the United States some month ago, if you remember, where immigrants were going through the airports in Texas of the United States holding some kind of money, and the envelopes had some instruction writing outside in the envelopes.
Wow.
This particular situation, we have discovered that a lot of Haitian immigrants are trying to get into the United States, and they have thrown the ID cards on the ground, as you show right now. Well, many of the Haitian people has got resident visa in Chile from 2017, and many of them are trying to regularize their illegal situation in Chile, but their purpose is going through different countries in Latin America to reach finally the United States. So that's why they arrive in Mexico, on the border of Mexico with the United States, and they are trying to get into saying that, for example, Haiti had an earthquake, if you remember, in August. They had an earthquake, so they're trying to get that opportunity for going to the United States. So if they have or they are holding the ID cards from Chile as a resident from Chile, obviously they will be denied the enter of the United States. So that's why maybe many of these ID cards was thrown on the ground.
Wow.
Border. Now, the other situation that was discovered is regarding the emergency family income. In Chile, during the pandemic situation, the government established an emergency income for people or for families that were affected with the pandemic situation, especially for those people who lost the job, for example, or they couldn't work in their companies. So the state of Chile was providing some kind of help that is called emergency family income. This is for all Chileans and also is for immigrant residents in Chile. That's why many of the Haitian people can reach this kind of income, and they took advantage to take this to pay for this money, and they could travel. They used this money for going to Mexico.
Wow.
Do you understand that?
Now,
So they used this money that the state of Chile was providing them for helping them, as many other Chileans in Chile that lost their job for pandemic situation. So the thing is that many of these Haitian people, in these objectives, maybe they always thought to reach the United States, and it was needed to get the ID card in Chile first, for after that to reach the United States. The ID card is used for going through different countries, because among different South American countries, for example, among Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia, etc., a passport is not needed. Just you can go through these different borders only with your Chilean ID card.
wow.
So that's why they could travel from different countries, to reach finally Mexico border with the United States.
Now, let me ask you. Wow, this is amazing. Now, let me ask you this. So you're telling me this program, this family program, which they're using the money, and ultimately it looks like the United Nations is doing an experiment in Chile, in your country. It's basically they're using your country as a trampoline for people to use it so they can move ultimately to the north and to the United States of America. Is this program, Raul, still existing, and how much they're giving to every family unit?
Well, still is the program. This program called as emergency family income is still active because many of people, Chilean families are receiving this kind of help. It is going to be active until December of this year. After that, maybe it's gonna be finished. But until December, this emergency family income, all Chilean families can receive this kind of help, and also immigrant residents in Chile can receive also this kind of help. So that's the money that they are receiving and using it for traveling to the border of the United States. The thing is, these immigrant people, they cannot reach, for example, visa as a Chilean resident to enter in the United States. That's why they go to the border with Mexico, because it's better for them to say that they are Haitians, and they are taking advantage that some kind of benefits that the United States are offering because of the earthquake or the catastrophe that occurred in Haiti. Do you understand?
Yeah. So the only ones that they can qualify for this program are legal migrants.
Yeah.
Now, how much is the quantity, Raul? How much is the quantity that Chile is giving?
It's not an amount, a fixed amount, because it's depending on the member of the family. They receive the money depending on the number of the family. For example, if they are in a family, there are 4 people. Usually, they are receiving around $600. $600
Per week or per month?
For a month.
For a month.
For a month.
Now, do you have this information that there's creation possibly of fake families and this? Wow, do you actually have that? Fake families?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible that they have fake families, but many of them, for example, when we do the exercise of querying the name of Dutch people who were in the ID cards that you presented in the video before, when made the exercise, we can observe that many of them, two or three of them, they were registered in the official web page as a person who would receive money. One of them, for example, received around $3,900, more or less. But other person received around $1,000. So it depends on the member of the families or the member that was declared before of the government that are composing the family.
So basically, they're using this program, and this is why they go down there. This is why they travel to Colombia, and from Colombia they go down south to Chile, because they know that immediately they're going to get an ID, and that ultimately they're going to get help economically, financially, to move up to the north. You were telling me yesterday that in your investigation studies, there's an organization that has already been investigated, and there's already evidence that they're the ones that they're funding and providing all of this from all the way to the south, and it's Migración Jesuita, something like that, you told me.
Yeah, actually, there are many of the drivers or factors that we have in this problem about immigration is regarding some international organizations that are connected with the United States, I'm sorry, with the United Nations, and the other are NGOs that are connected also with the United Nations. For example, the Jesuit migrants organization, they are present in north of Chile and they are promoting,
Wow.
the immigration, especially for those who are coming from Haiti and also from Venezuela,
Wow.
because they are trying, even Jesuits are teaching them how they can break the law, migration law.
Wow. So hold on, bro, because it has. Holy cow, man! Holy cow! Because you know who who are the people that are doing it over here in the border of Mexico and the United States are the NGOs and also fake lawyers from the United States of America. These these leftist liberals that they come over here and they teach how to cheat on a loophole. They have been caught with fake families, fake matrimonies, how to use a minor between the ages of 9 and 12 so they can achieve the political asylum. You're telling me that this kind of it relates to what this Jesuit migrant organization is doing over there also?
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Now, from my perspective and from my analysis of the situation lived in Chile and in the rest of Latin America, the massive immigration has been promoted from different NGOs linked to the United Nations as International Migration Organization or High Commissioner of Refugees, for example. I mean, it is a situation promoted by the United Nations through the Global Compact for Migration. We must remember that the Global Compact for Migration is, according to the description of the webpage of the United Nations, the first intergovernmentally negotiated agreement that was prepared under the auspices of the United Nations. This is the way how the United Nations is promoting the global impact for migration, and obviously it has some impact in the rest of the governments and the states. However, Chile, it is one of the countries that has not signed the Global Compact for Migration. So, what we can think about massive immigration in the border of Chile promoted by international organization linked to the United Nations is the UN is trying to enforce Chile to sign this compact.
Now, hey, it's exactly what happened. Now, they're forcing you as to bend the knee and sending you a mass migration. And by this waiver that it was signed by Piñera, it overflows the population of Chile and it overflows your borders. So it makes you bend the knee to sign this globalist compact of immigration, which it seems that the United States of America right now is strategically, they're doing that to them as opening the border and overflowing the border and strategically sending and sending and sending until the United Nations makes the United States bend the knee and sign the global compact. Isn't that, am I correct or not?
That's right. That's right. It's the same.
Wow.
And in this regard, another interesting topic is regarding, as I told you, NGOs that are participating in the process of the illegal immigration. In Chile, as I told you, there is a Jesuit migrant service that they are present in all the aspects that are affecting immigrants in Chile. Even, as I told you, they teach to immigrants how to break the immigration law. In Chile, we have two immigration law right now, because we are going through from the old migration law to the new migration law. But the new migration law was, was promoted from one of the organizations was the Jesuit Migrant Service, and they insisted to create a new law, migration law, for the purpose of the global compact migration.
Open borders.
Absolutely. But because the old law in our Chile is very restrictive with immigrants, in the sense that a lot of documents are needed when you are coming to Chile, or the visa that you need for staying more than the time you need as a tourist, for example. If you come to Chile as a tourist, the old law mandates to you to request, a new application for another resident state. So the new law even has some restriction, but actually the borders or the influx of immigration is open for all the people.
Now, let me ask you this question. If a migrant in Chile applies for residency, under the global compact ideology is that person already received asylum in Chile. So he is not applicable to go to another country to do exactly the same process. I believe so. That's what I have my understanding. So we have, for example, the United States of America right now, and also in our borders in Mexico, we have a lot of migrants that they're coming with these IDs from your country, that they have lived out of that program for years now. And they are now traveling to apply for the political asylum. Do they have the right to apply for a political asylum, or they are most likely going to be denied for that process because they already have been provided with asylum in Chile?
Well, in Chile, according to the international police procedure that they are, controlling in the borders. Usually, when people are saying or asking for political asylum, they have to prove in the border that is like that. And many of the Venezuelan people was rejected because the information that they provided in the border or in the airport was false, was fake. And so in this case, when people are requesting political asylum, there are some kind of procedure of the police that led them to investigate in the moment and to understand if real or not the political situation that they are living or are coming or are going, from running from the country.
Now, I want to ask you this. Joe Biden, the administration of Joe Biden, in the past administration with Donald Trump was in agreement that he was going to help Central America and parts of South America, providing $4.8 billion to create a better infrastructure and to help national security of those countries. He was going to send a task force to specifically make sure that money was well invested. Joe Biden comes in and he says, I'm not going to send 4.8. I'm going to send 4 billion. But I'm going to send the 4 billion to non-governmental organizations, that is the NGOs. You know more than anything that if he sends those money to specifically like a governmental organization like the Jesuit Migrant Organization, specifically, Raul, this looks like a funneling of money. It looks like this is a business of investing 4 billion all the way to Chile and getting 8 billion in resources in all of this that is invested. Am I correct or am I wrong?
all this situation have to think for you that you have to follow the money. In this case, you have to follow the money. Before all this immigration conflict or immigration crisis, absolutely, there are many other organizations or people that are, making money with this kind of crisis. That's why, for me, it's very important to have in mind the Jesuit Migrant Service, because they are all the time trying to instruct the immigrants for coming to Chile and how they can break the law of migration. Especially, they say, for example, it's very common to hear from the immigrants that the Jesuit Migrant Service, they say you have to go in the border. If you are in front of the police officer, you have to say that you need to complain yourself because you are breaking the law. In that case, the officer is mandated to take your complaining and to permit your entering in Chile. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's why many of the immigrants that arrive in the border, they know how to break this, how to make this procedure for going to the country, for entering the country, and after that, how to stay in the country, and what would be the situation along the process for regulating their situation immigration.
So basically, they're coached all the way from South America all the way to North America. They're really well coached. Now, I want to ask you this question. You more than anybody know this. There's a huge migration right now from Afghanistan. Chile has been a country that has been receiving also Middle Eastern, and also there has been registered that there's terrorist organizations and in Chile. Is that an actual fact, or is it a speculation?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I have not the right information for confirming this information. So I think could be an speculation at least. In the meantime, it could be an speculation. I don't have a right information about that.
There's been different entities entering Chile, not only from Haiti, from other parts of the world.
Only in this in the situation of the current situation in Chile is coming from Latin America, from Haiti, from I don't know, Colombia, Venezuela, Cuba, but some other countries, for example, for the Middle East, the entering in the country, the rate is low.
The rate is low.
The rate is low, but I cannot, to think that that is not possible. Could be.
Now, I want to show you a picture, because you told me something that is, I was like mind blown. This picture, it happened, I believe that it was Iquique, right?
Yeah.
So this, I was watching this video. And as I was watching a video that I am about to put right here, this is an actual video right here that I'm about to put. As the people of Chile are burning, and let me specify right there, quote unquote, the people on Chile, because that's what I thought. In my mind, it was the people of Chile who were burning the tents. The people of Chile, regarding the peaceful protesters, the ones that they wanted for this to change, the conservatives, or you can say the right wing or independent people that they were protesting. Apparently, according to Raul, that is an intelligence specialist, there has been infiltrated radical leftist groups that they were the ones that or that they were the ones that provoked this to happen. Is this kind of like Antifa, kind of like these radical groups also, Raul?
That's right. The information that we have is the protesting in that day was done by conservative people or Republican people here in Chile, mostly. But during the protesting, we can see, for example, different flags. Usually, conservative people and Republican people here in Chile, they are identified with the Chilean flag. That is very similar like the Texas flag. Our flag, Chilean flag, was present during that manifestation. But the thing is, during the process of protesting, many of the black flags and indigenous flag was shown. So we can think that many of them, because in radical left in Chile, they are identified with black flag and the indigenous flag. Many of them, they are not conservative people. So the people who were burning this belonging of the immigrants were usually people were in the stage of the radical left, mostly.
Wow. So it kind of relates, on your opinion. I don't want to mix one thing to another, but you have infiltrated people provoking chaos.
That's right.
As what happened in Venezuela, also in the protests, there were also infiltrated people provoking protests and provoking chaos. That these are agitators and instigators. As you can say, as what happened in January 6th at the Capitol also, can you assume kind of like that it was the same situation?
It's the same situation.
Wow.
We have to remember one thing. In October 18th of 2019, we have a social crisis that is called as social blast. That is the name, estallido social, social blast.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment to today, many of the things has been passed that that is provoking, for example, to change our constitution. It's the same model that was implemented in the Venezuela government before Chavez. When Chavez was trying to get the power in Venezuela, they say the same process in their country. And the other thing that we have to remember is that in October 16, 2019, the General Secretariat of the states, American states, released a communique, a press release, in which there were warning about some kind of Bolivarian breezes that refer to Maduro government.
Wow.
Chavez, right now, for example, in Chile, we know that many infiltrated people coming from Venezuela are staying here in Chile because they are planning to do the same social blast
Holy
during
cow.
October.
Whew. So,
In this situation that Chile is leading, particularly Chile and Latin America, Venezuela government is behind this, and Cuba intelligence is behind this.
so you have intelligence from Cuba and intelligence Chavistas that they're infiltrated in your country. Now, one question. because we're seeing that these are two communist countries. Now, question. Do you have a lot of Chinese investors in your country? Is it China right now has been, lithium, and I want to throw the number one mineral right now, because they're trying to transform the automobile industry into electrical cars, and they're investing on Bolivia, they're investing in Sonora right here in Mexico, they're investing right now in Nevada. Do you have China seriously infiltrated in your country?
Yeah, we have we have investment from China here in Chile as well.
So this looks exactly like it is. It is all a planification for, they're using your country.
Yeah,
The United Nations, the leftist communists, they're using your country to completely create it as a global experiment.
it is. It is.
Wow.
In Chile, you have to remember that Chile in South America was the first economy of among the other countries. So the thing is that Maduro government and Diosdado Cabello, they said in that moment, October 2019, that a Bolivarian breeze going through the Chile. So that's why we had a social blast in Chile.
Now,
And the thing is, they want to change our constitution. And right now, we have a special commission, a special commission that are trying to write the new constitution.
holy, that's hold
Under the lineman coming from the Sao Paulo Forum. All this situation is because of the lining, the guidelines of the Sao Paulo Forum.
Now, let me ask you something. This is unbelievable. Now, let me ask you something. The United States of America and United States citizens were really surprised on the past elections that they use machines and they use fake pamphlets and they fake ballots and all this kind of stuff. That is really normal for us. This is the first time that they experienced that. There's questions on the live feed that they want to ask you. Has there been infiltrated people in your elections for president, for governor, for whatever it is?
Absolutely. We have extremists. We have members of guerrilla, for example, Sendero Luminoso, that are present here in Chile, and they are leading some immigrants movements here in Chile. That is the great problem. We had many years ago, we had the connection between the Communist Party here in Chile with FARC members, and they provide training with some indigenous people that belong in a special group, a guerrilla group here in Chile, and they receive a special training in the FARC, the Front 48.
Now,
So
go ahead.
Chile has lived along 30 years. They have lived a very long period of subversion, ideology subversion, infiltrating the universities, infiltrating the schools, infiltrating the public institutions for, trying to or taking the country to a new ideology state. Do you understand?
All that is happening in Chile, it is a copy-paste of what is happening right now in the United States. I want to tell this to my audience. I am still planning, Raul, I'm still planning to go to Chile with Carlos. And as I was planning and we were talking, because I was supposed to arrive to Santiago, and from Santiago move all the way to I believe that it was Iquique, and from there we were going to go to Arica.
Yeah.
We were planning that, but this is incredible what I'm about to tell you, what Carlos told me, Raul. That for me to enter, this is around every country of the world, but this is so ridiculous. For me to enter to your country, this global pandemic, how it is controlling the population, for me to enter your country, I have to stay 7 days quarantine at a hotel.
Yeah.
And then if you're vaccinated, you have to stay 5 days quarantine. I don't understand the logic on that. It's just unbelievable the control that they have over the Chile people. Can you relate on that?
Me neither. Absolutely. I don't know. For me, it's not really logic why in Chile they are applying this kind of restrictions. Because if you are vaccinated and you can come to Chile, if you have to be in quarantine for 5 days, it's not logic because of you are
Vaccinated.
You are vaccinated. That's right.
I want to ask you another question. Is there a lot of child trafficking and these movements, mass migrations in Chile?
It's probably that they are kind of traffic of children. Many of the people who are arriving in the borders are people supposedly their families that are coming from Venezuela, particularly from Venezuela. But the thing is probably that many of them are related as some kind of immigrants trafficking, or human trafficking or something like that.
Holy cow! This is now going back to the other topic that we were talking about, that like the passports and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get too much into that because the channel gets censored a lot because we're talking about that. But this is really important that I ask you this. In Chile, were they told me this, that you're supposed to put, when there was back in the pandemic, you're supposed to put an application online so you can have the ability to go to buy groceries?
Yeah.
Wow. So they were controlling you to how and when you should go to exit your house to buy groceries?
Yes. Yes. That's right.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that, Raul?
Well, actually, it's a complicated situation. Well, it's hard to explain it, but this way.
Now, I want to ask you a little bit, about the feeling of you as a Chile citizen. When you see, this is an example of people, walking on these mass migration caravans. How do you feel as a Chile citizen? Because I was hearing an interview with an Aymara citizen.
Yeah.
And she's a humble woman crying that they broke into their house. This is also happening in Mexico, where there's a big Haiti population in Tapachula that they have taken over abandoned apartments.
Yeah.
In Chile, they're doing exactly the same thing, I believe, in Iquique, right? That they're doing exactly the same thing. Migrants are taking over. They are going into homes, third age people. They're going into their homes and they're taking over their homes. Is this actually happening?
That actually, when they go to, for example, Iquique, usually they are staying on the street, on the public places. That's why many of the protesters are protesting, because they are taking all the public places with tents, and they are doing their human necessities in the public, in the street. So actually, houses taken by immigrants is not common, but it is possible in Colchane, where Aymara people were suffering with some kind of immigrants that are very violent, and they are trying, to take their homes.
Wow.
Because it's a very, very small town.
So
And there are so many, there are a lot of, a few of people living there.
So exactly what the migrant camps, what happens in Chile, that they go to a location and they camp and they are not going to move like that. This copy paste comes from Chile, because the migrants started doing it in Chile, and then they do exactly the same thing in Peru, and then they do it in Panama, and then they do it in Bolivia or Nicaragua, and then from there. So this it's just a manifesto on every country. Raúl, it's just the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's this globalist compact of immigration. If Chile is not in it, Raúl, if Chile is not in it, what is the profit of it? Because you're still doing exactly the same thing that other countries.
Actually, we don't understand why our president is taking, some measures that are affecting us as Chileans, and opening the borders for the massive of immigrants that are coming into. And we don't understand absolutely how our president is, authorizing this kind of situation.
I wanna say, before I ask you the last question, the audience is loving you, bro. They say that you are really intelligent. That thank you so much for this information. This is so valuable information. I want to tell you something, Raúl. Raúl, you need to start your channel in English. Please start your channel in English, and I will direct people from my page to go to your channel and start listening to you. As your information is so valuable, and you are an intelligent analyst. You are a really well prepared man. You know about this from point A to point Z. You know everything about this. So my question to you is as you are not in the globalist, you're not in the globalist compact. I am in the globalist compact of immigration in Mexico. Do you believe that the United States right now, by the way that it looks, do you believe that they sign a waiver like Chile, or that they signed the globalist compact underneath the table? Because Kamala Harris has said do not come, Joe Biden has said do not come, but their borders are still open. What do you think? What do you think that is?
I'm sorry. I would like to repeat that question, because I was reading some messages and I didn't pay so much attention.
I wanted to ask you: do you think that the United States of America, it looks like by the way that it looks like they had an agreement with the United Nations because their borders are still open? What do you think about that?
I think that the left political ideology is influencing so much in many other countries, especially in the United Nations. And obviously, they are a kind of sympathy with the right, with the wings, political wings in the United States, like what is the Republicans and the others?
Democrats.
The thing is, there is a kind of link with Democrats, because they are a special ideology founding in this kind of thinking, socialism and also communism. They are linked. So in this moment, socialism, communism, and finally Marxism is present in the United Nations. The General Secretary of the United Nations is socialist with ideology thinking founded in Marxist Lenin. Our Michelle Bachelet, who is the woman in charge of the human rights in United Nations, is socialist with the thinking on Marxist Lenin, and so on. So the thinking in the United Nations is socialism, going to the communism in many other states, many other republics. You know what I mean?
Yes. Raul, I just want to say thank you. You are, the first time that I met you, you really surprised me on a lot of things. The way that the way that you develop the language and every specific, I learned so much from you. You are a really important source of information. Everybody on the live feed in the United States of America and everybody that speaks English that is not in the United States of America, it is appreciating your information. So I want to put the floor right here for your last words, last message, and where can they find you, Raul, so they can start searching.
Okay, thank you so much. I really thank this chance for speaking about all this information that is very, very important to know, not only for Latin American people who speak only Spanish, but other people that are coming from America, for example, or North America, that they speak English, and they need to know what happened with Latin America. One of the most important problems in Latin America is because of Venezuela government, but also, in the most important, is Cuba government. That is the real thing, the foundation of all of this situation that happening in all Latin America. So I want to thank to all of people. Apologize to you if my English sometimes was not so good. I hope you can understand very well.
Your English is perfect, man. Your English is perfect.
Sometimes I forgot some words, but it's not usual to speak. I'm translator as a professional, but actually I'm not used to speak fluently every day. So I hope you can understand what I try to express to you. So thank you so much for your chance, Oscar, and also I will take the suggestion for becoming my channel in English for English speakers. So I'm going to
where can they find you, Raul? Where can they find you? Where?
Okay. Thank you so much.
No, but where can they find you? Where? What channel?
I'm sorry. My website is www.asesormunoz. I'm going to ask you, Oscar, to link in the description below. And my channel is Asesor Munoz.
Yes.
That is my channel, in which all the time I'm trying to comment some information, especially in Spanish. But from this moment, I will try to do it in English, especially for English speaker community. So I hope to have more followers in this regard.
No, yes, and I will push them so they can, so you can get more following, Raúl. Raúl, muchas gracias. Te lo voy a decir en español. Muchas gracias. Espero hacer este show en español. A ver si lo podemos hacer en la semana y a ver si me das el tiempo del día para hacerlo en la semana en español. So I want to say thank you so much. You are a teacher, man. Thank you so much, Raúl. Thank you. That is Raúl Muñoz, intelligent analyst from Chile. Thank you so much, Raúl.
Thank you. Thank you to you.
So there you have it. There you have it. That's Raúl, Muñoz. Wow, man. Wow. Holy cow. Whoo! This is like discovering the Trojan horse. You know how they are little by little we are finding out details about this globalist agenda, this demonic globalist agenda. That little by little we're finding out how this is piecing everything together. This is an intelligence analyst. It's not your typical average Joe. He has multiple accomplishments on his field and investigative work. He's lots of information. Critical information I will take from this. First of all, how there's a program in Mexico also that is made for necessity families, families in need. And also this program in Mexico, I will put it on the screen during this week. This program, it is applicable also for migrants. It is exactly the same ideology. This is so wow, man. Because in Chile, they're doing exactly the same thing. It is a program for families, but also immigrant families are applicable to that. So that program, that money, they're using it to move to every border. They're specifically not using it to stay in the country. So why you're using that money for your own, to exit a country if you're using the money for that country? Oh my God. It's unbelievable. The IDs, how they are using the identification ultimately to just go. Because every country, as you guys have seen, when I have crossed to Guatemala, I only use my Mexican ID. There's no legal port of entry for passport, like in the United States of America. So ultimately, when they get the ID in Chile, it is exactly the same thing as they're going up to Peru, Panama, Costa Rica, and so and so and so. So the ID that they're using in Chile, it is with the purpose, with ultimately the money that is funneling for them to move. Unbelievable. The United Nations is using Chile as a funneling trampoline to move people to the north. Mexico, it is a country that funnels also with mass migration and documents the mass migration in an orderly, supposedly fashion that is not orderly to the United States of America. And the United States of America, the last door for freedom, it is being automatically now demolished little by little. Wow. Holy cow. Then the other one, when he says, this is not only being provided by the United Nations and the globalists to these countries like Venezuela, but also the Cuba intelligence. Cuba, the communist Cuba. Have you ever guys asked yourself this question when the rising of people started happening a few months ago? What happened to that? It all watered down, huh? How do they manage to water that down? These dictators, they are never going to leave power. Have you seen that in Cuba? They don't have no freedom, people. For all you American leftists, liberals that want communism, I invite you to buy a plane ticket to La Habana, Cuba. That is around $2,000 with your stimulus check that you don't want to go to work, but you want to get your stimulus check. Get that stimulus check and go to Cuba. And try to exercise your, oh my God, it's my body, it's my right, over there. Have you guys seen what happened to Cuba right now? Cuba's watered down. Nothing. You cannot touch these dictators. You cannot hurt these dictators. You cannot replace these dictators. Like Gavin Newsom, you're never going to replace that. Nancy Pelosi, get her out of town. My God, how much is going to cost you? Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio, Veronica Escobar. All these leftist dictators. Oh my God, it's going to take a whole bunch of people to get them out of office. These are dictators with the new globalist open border agenda, as how he is explaining, and how in Chile is happening, and how in Colombia is happening, how in Panama is happening, Bolivia is happening, Peru is happening, and also in Costa Rica is happening. All these things, it is the continent of America right now. It's under communist dictatorship. It's under socialist attack to convert it to communism. Under a globalist agenda that is directed by the United Nations. Holy cow. Man, I like this interview, man. He provides so much information, eloquently and perfectly done. Thank you so much, Raul Munoz, for our guest today. I will talk to him right now as soon as I finish the live feed. God bless you all. Thank you so much. And also, there's a comment right here, and I want to add this comment before I go, and you are exactly correct. Lily Solitaire says, and the right is doing nothing about it. I can never agree with you more. They're quiet. They're complicit. Not only in the United States of America, but also in Mexico. Not only in the United States of America. The left has bought, if I'm talking specifically about the United States of America, the left has bought. Oh my God, you're such a conspiracy theorist, Oscar. I'm not. The left has bought the right-wing people. A lot of them. I told you the other day, there's a handful of people only that I can count that they're doing actually something against this tyrannical left. There's a handful of people. We counted the other day like 7 people only. 5, and then somebody like, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about this one. Oh, yeah, 7. It's unbelievable. What happened to the other people, the other rhinos? Where are they? Holy cow. Not only in the United States, but in Mexico also. Nobody's doing anything about it to stop this communist, nut job for completely ruining our country more than it was before. It's a globalist agenda. And it is destroying our continent. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. We did a live feed today in the morning with Carlos of Tapachula. Carlos of Tapachula is here in Tijuana, and we're about to go to different places to give you guys the reality and truth about different sectors in our city of Tijuana regarding this massive influx. Thank you so much for every single one of you that has contributed to our travel fund. Buy Me a Coffee is on the bottom link. Also, our PayPal is pinned on the message box. You will you're helping and contributing for us to travel on our next journey to investigate more of this massive and bring you guys reality and truth in raw, uncut video for every single one of you. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, Twitter as Oscar Blue, as I'm live right here at Twitter, and also Instagram as Oscar Blue. Instagram is the only one that is different. That is Oscar Blue Media. Oscar Blue Media is Instagram. Follow Border Network News, Telegram, Instagram, and Facebook, and also follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero. God bless you all. Stay safe, and like we always say, people, peace and love, because always your country's first. God bless.
Now, what I'd like to say is that the people, after the last channel I got rid of because I was getting the strikes, and then I've had people that I thought were my friends that for some reason they didn't believe what I was telling them because they believe other people. But in this video here, it tells a lot. Now, this guy that was in this discussion talked about the thing that went on in January this year. Now, I had said that it was an inside job. I also said that it wouldn't take much for Antifa or any of them to be inside that mob. Wouldn't take much at all. All they got to do is change their clothes and stuff. Change their, what they're wearing and wear what the right usually wear. Because Trump was talking when this happened. Now, anybody knows that a person with Trump's support, most of those people would have been at that speech. And also, this talks about the medical procedure. But, yeah, I follow the spirit of man. And I get led to a lot of stuff. People don't like me. And Jesus said that. And I've been told be called crazy. But I'm not trying to say I told you so, or I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it gets tiring, people not believing you, that you thought were your friend and found out they weren't. They're just ignorant. But yeah, this is a very interesting video. And I will leave links to it. But I would say the next thing might be hunger for the ones who didn't get to, what. And because of the shelves are getting bare. And get prepared today. And you need to fight back. Because this is a man-made thing by Senior George Bush. New World Order. So I want to say, God bless, and I'm going to do another video that I'm putting together. It's going to be very interesting. So I want to say God bless you all. Be safe, and may Jesus be with you in your everyday life and with your families and everything else. And be careful, and God bless. Please be safe.